And as you settle down onto your back into Shavasana, just begin this practice of letting be. This practice of slowing down, of becoming still, of being present. Practice of observing. And notice what's in the foreground of your experience. Maybe it's physical sensations, maybe it's a busy mind, maybe it's some heavy emotional sensation. Acknowledging whatever's here, whether it's positive or a negative or neutral, with a sense of compassion and receptivity. So receiving messages from, we could say, inner wisdom or higher power. And really greeting everything as a kind of messenger or opportunity to learn and grow. And really sinking, settling into the present moment by yoking awareness now to your breath. The invitation is to return to the breath stream, return your awareness to the breath over and over and over again as a way to kind of see where you're at mentally, emotionally, as a way to bring awareness back to the present moment. And breath as feedback in terms of how hard to work, in a sense, in your physical practice. So if the breath gets heavy or jagged, or you feel like you're running out of breath, slowing down, making it simpler, making it easier, making it more nourishing. We'll begin our movement inquiry with the Baddha Konasana slide. So you can imagine there's weights on your inner thighs. Leg stays heavy as you slide the outer edge of your foot along the ground toward you. And then slide the leg out straight. Alternating legs here. Go slow enough to feel the sensations that are arising moment by moment. So really attuning to subtlety here. Try initiating the movement from the knee, like you've got a string attached to your knee and you're tugging on the string to bring the leg up. The movement is the same, but the approach, well, maybe the movement changes a bit when you do that. Maybe the sensation changes too. Adding an element to this inquiry, after you slide the knee to bend out to the side, lift that foot just a little bit. You can pause for a moment and then release the foot back down and then slide the leg out straight. Still alternating legs, initiating the bend from the knee, the sliding of the foot from the knee, a little lift of the foot, pausing just very briefly or a little longer if it's interesting, and then lowering the foot and sliding the leg out straight. Try not to cut the corners, so we're often in a hurry to kind of get things done, to rush, to accomplish. See if you can counter that habit, going slow, one step at a time. It can still be fluid. Sense how the body weight is shifting. There might be some cracking or popping feelings in your knees or your hips. The next time either leg comes into this Baddha Konasana or tree shape, leave the foot down and just leave the leg down and pause and notice what you notice. And then slide that leg out straight. Same thing on the other side from the knee, initiating to this tree pose shape, leaving the foot down, leg is heavy. Wait, watch, and listen. Slide the leg out straight. And just pause here. Now let's plant both feet about hips width apart. And interlace your hands behind your head, right at the base of your skull, so pretty much your hairline. With your inhalation, create a little gap, a little back bend here underneath the lower spine. And then exhale, curl up, pressing the spine down, following your breath. Arm bones press into the floor on the inhale. Shoulder blades peel up off the ground with the exhale. With the exhalation, you could try maintaining more of a neutral pelvis. So rather than curling the pubic bone up toward you, keeping the pelvis neutral, that triangle table, and really rooting through the sacrum. So in this variation, we would keep a little bit of a gap between the lower spine and the floor. So the gap is bigger on the inhale and then quite small on the exhale. We might try that a few more times. We can add some elements of engagement. So the sacrum presses down without changing the orientation of the pelvis. You can engage mula bandha, drawing in and up with the pelvic floor. You could also draw the abdominal wall back toward the floor. So slightly different core engagement. And then the next time you curl up, maybe you hold that neutral pelvis, that little gap between the spine and the floor, tacking side to side here. It's like a little pendulum action, coming really more through the shoulders and the upper body, keeping the hips still. Then inhale, root the arm bones, invite the belly to expand and stretch with the breath. And then we'll do knees, one knee in and elbows toward that knee. Inhaling to arch and root the arms, and then exhale, knee in, elbows across to the diagonal. And again, you could play with that more neutral pelvis here, so the knee won't go in as much. And just about one more time each side, staying true to your rhythm. And then after your second side, slide the legs out straight. Rest your arms down by your sides. And notice what you notice. Notice how gravity moves through you. Let's bring the legs to Baddha Konasana, so soles of the feet together, knees apart, and the arms in cactus. Elbows are bent at 90 degrees in line with the shoulders, and adjusting that to work for you, adjusting your position to work for you. So simply lifting one arm, keeping the elbow bent if it is, until the arm is over your shoulder, or it could go more in toward the midline, so the shoulder blade peeling up off the ground, and then releasing it back toward the floor. So like you're headed towards an eagle shape where the arm would come out in front of you, alternate arms. So this might feel really simple. It is really simple, but it might feel really easy, and then you're wondering, like, why are we doing this if it's easy? So see if you can attune more to your relationship to gravity, really noticing where in the shoulder, where in the chest, where in the back you're feeling sensation. Neck is relaxed, face and jaw are relaxed. And then we're going to change it just a little bit. So we're just going to lift one arm about 6 inches away from the ground, maintaining whatever shape it's in, whether that's cactus or more of a T. And then slowly lower the arm back down. You don't have to go crazy slow, but relatively slow. Once the arm gets down to the ground, just feel how heavy it is. And then do the same thing on the other side. Arm just about 6 inches off the ground. So that's not very far at all. Pausing. Notice where your attention is drawn. And then slowly lowering the arm down. Let's do that once more on each side. Lifting the arm about 6 inches. Pause. Fingers are relaxed. The hands pretty relaxed. Palm facing up and then slowly lower. And other arm. The elbow can be slightly down relative to the shoulder, down more toward your waist. That would be better than up, more toward your head. Slowly lowering. And then just let the arms be heavy here. And keeping the legs in this Baddha Konasana shape, we're lifting one leg. So the foot and the knee lifting. And then lowering. Pause, and then try the other side. Lifting foot and knee. Doesn't have to be very high. Pause at least for a moment before you begin the slow descent back down. Pausing for a moment once the foot lands to fully let go. And then same thing, one more time each side. Foot and knee lifting. Foot's relaxed. Toes are relaxed. Slowly lower. Really studying your relationship to gravity. Other side. And then from here, we'll bring the knees together, the feet flat, so legs all the way together. Squeeze the knees in toward each other, pressing a little bit, and then open out. So soles of the feet come back together and knees open wide. Kind of like flapping wings. Go a few more times here. Notice your breath. Beautiful. Next time the legs open and the feet come together, pause there. And then we'll do just that small lift of right arm and left. Let's do knee and foot. Just about 6 inches or so up and then slowly lower down. Other side, left arm, right leg. So foot and knee, elbow and hand all coming up. Pause. And then lower. One more time each side. I'm working this diagonal line. Notice if the hand comes down before the elbow or vice versa, or if they come down at the same time. Left arm and right leg, or ignoring me if your pace is a little different. And then once all the limbs are down again, we're going to work one side a couple times. So let's lift left arm and left leg. Just a little bit, pause. Slowly lower. Feel the weight of the limbs. Right arm, right leg. Slowly lower. One more time, left side. Lowering. Right side. Gradually lowering. And then we'll lift all four limbs, feet, knees, elbows, hands, pause, and lower. If you feel like you need support for your back, engaging the abdominals. So rather than a squeezing in, it's a drawing down. One more time, all four limbs lifting up, pause, and lower. And then inhale here, with all the limbs down, and find a little bit more of a back bend, so anterior tilt of the pelvis. Exhale, bring the knees together, feet come flat, bring the arms together. So elbows join, forearms join, hands join. It's like eagle without the wrap. And try that a few more times. Inhaling, expanding, opening away from the midline, expanding from the midline. And then exhale, you can press the lower back down if you want, and squeeze the knees together and press the arms together. Could maintain that little gap underneath the lower spine if you want to work more with this neutral pelvis. A couple more times. Great, and then next time everything comes in toward the midline, let's bring the arms down alongside the body and slide the legs out straight into Shavasana. What's here now? Plant your left foot in line with the left hip and bring the right arm into cactus, or it could be wider and straighter to accommodate any kind of shoulder stuff you might have going on. Just gonna let the arm be heavy on the ground and rock to the inner edge of the left foot. Keep the left shoulder down. You could have both arms in cactus or left arm out to a T. That's up to you. Right leg is relaxed. As you rock to the inner edge of the left foot, keep it on the ground. Push the inner edge of the foot. Push that inner arch, inner heel, inner big toe even into the ground. So kind of swing the knee across, angle the knee toward the right foot, squeeze the left glute, and purposely lift this left hip, or emphasize the lift of the left hip. Left shoulder stays down. Adding a side stretch element. As you swing the knee across, slide the right arm to reach back behind you. It's on the floor. And then as the leg comes back to center, to vertical, the arm slides back to where it was. Couple more times on this side. And then once you finish that one, you can set up for the other side. Left leg straight, right foot planted. Right arm can stay alongside the body or be in cactus or the T, and left arm in cactus or out to the side, maybe at the diagonal. Rocking to the inner edge, the right foot, pushing the inner edge into the ground. And then coming back up to the vertical. Always feel welcome to stay a bit longer anywhere within the movement. Try reaching the knee more toward the left foot. Engaging right glute, opening the front of the right hip. Right shoulder stays down. And if and when you feel inclined, we're adding this elongation through the left side by sliding the left arm along the floor, alongside the head. Couple more times on this side. And then eventually release into Shavasana. Okay, once again, we're going to bring feet together, knees apart in Baddha Konasana, and both arms in cactus. And then we're going to work diagonally here. So with your inhalation, you're just here, and then exhale, bring the right arm in like eagle and bring the left foot flat so the knee points up. Inhaling, let's do the same side. So opening right arm and left leg. And then exhale, it's like they're running into a wall that runs down the midline, down your center. A few more times. Next time the leg and the arm open out to the side, try the other side, left arm and right leg. Coming up and then opening out. Next time the arm and leg open out to the side, we'll work one side. So you pick, but same side, arm and leg going up to center and then opening out. And the next time the limbs come out to the side, other side, so same side, arm and leg coming to the midline and opening out. And then last couple times, returning to all the limbs opening and all the limbs coming together. If you want, you can bring the knees in, curl up, bring the elbows toward the knees. Palms are connected in prayer. And then lowering down, opening up. Exhale, bring everything together. So knees together, elbows together first, and then maybe curling up. Let's do that a couple more times. Take your time. And then releasing back into Shavasana. Notice the inner landscape. Okay, stay heavy as you can and roll onto your belly. Tuck your toes under. Push through your heels. Engage your glutes. Root through the pubic bone. And then take hold of your elbows. Press your elbows down. Press the forearms down to lift up. You can keep the back bend pretty small here, drawing these shoulders down the back and even drawing the abdominals up away from the floor. So all this back body engagement, keeping you safer and more stable in your back bend. Lowering down, stack your hands, untuck your toes, bring your head down. And then we're going to take a side bend over to the right. So the lower body stays where it is, the upper body kind of lifts and shifts. You can keep your head down or cheek down here. And so if you side bend over to the right, tuck left toes under. You could tuck all 10 toes under, but definitely tuck left toes under and push through the left heel. stay right here, or option two, find a prone back bend again. So hands can stay stacked, or you can take hold of your elbows. Find all that engagement through the back body and coil up. As you lower down, and you can make your way back to center. And then over to the left side, side bending to the left. Kind of this lifting and turning, lifting and shifting of the upper body. Resting your head or your cheek down. Tuck either all the toes under, or at least right foot toes under. Push through the heel. Breathe into the right side. Stay here, or either keeping the hands stacked or taking hold of your elbows. Maybe tuck all 10 toes under now. Engage through the back and lift the front. Lower down, and then bring the upper body back to center. Head down, relax the feet. Keep head down here. Bend your knees so the feet are airborne over the knees. And let's find all that back engagement again, or most of it. So squeezing the glutes, try to sink the front of the pelvis down into the ground. And then see if you can lift one foot up, or it's like you're lifting the knee up away from the floor, straight up. You're not going to get very far, particularly if you stay engaged in your center, and then lower the knee down. Try the other side, like you're pushing the ceiling up with your foot. Keep engaging the glutes, pressing the pubic bone down. And let's kind of do this little slow march a couple more times each side. After your second side, let the feet drift back down to the ground. Great, and then we're going to bring left leg, left knee out to the side in that same Baddha Konasana tree pose shape we worked with earlier. Try to kind of slide the knee a little further away from you. And then adding a side bend here, we side bend to the left. So you can keep your hands stacked, walk your upper body to the left. Left elbow gets closer to left knee. You can bring your head or your cheek down and tuck right toes under, push through the heel. Squeeze right glute. Relax the shoulders. Gradually unpacking back to center. Legs straight. Second side. right leg into this Baddha Konasana tree pose shape. Try sliding the knee a little bit more away from you so the inner thigh gets a little closer to the floor. And then adding our side bend to the right. Just lift and shift, lift and turn. Right elbow closer to right knee. Rest your forehead or cheek down. Tuck left toes under. Drive through the left heel, engage the left glute. Relax the shoulders. And release back to this prone shavasana. Keep your right arm where it is and stretch your left arm forward, palm down. Tuck your toes under. Push through your heels, squeeze the buttocks, root the front of the pelvis down, and then lift up. So we're propped on the right forearm and left hand. Shoulders away from the ears. You can stay right here or lift the left arm up so it leaves the ground. You can stay right here or exhale, left elbow drawing back toward cactus. And we'll flow a little bit here. Extending the arm forward on the inhale, drawing the elbow back on the exhale. Try not to let the elbow pop up and the hand to drop down. So they're in the same plane. They're both parallel to the floor. Strongly rooting down through the right forearm. One more time, feeling the shoulder blade moving on the back of the rib cage. And then stack the hands and tuck the toes. And do a little hip shimmy here. Coming back to stillness at center. Now, left arm stays where it is, so the hand's pretty much underneath the face. Right arm stretches forward. You can always take the arm wider to accommodate any kind of shoulder pinchiness or pain. Tuck the toes under. Engage through the back body and lift up. And pressing the right hand down and the left hand all the way up to elbow. Stay here or lift the right arm up off the ground. Doesn't have to come up very much. And then moving, and then working dynamically, exhale, draw the elbow back, keeping the arm parallel to the floor. Try not to let the hand drop down and the elbow pop up. Inhaling, reach forward, energy back through the legs, and then exhale, draw the elbow back. A few more times. Gaze is down, back of the neck is long. And then stack the hands, untuck the toes, and rest. Let's bring the left leg into tree pose, into Baddha Konasana again. You can kind of slide the knee a little away from you if that feels good for your hip. And then from here, let's keep the hands stacked and the head down, at least initially. And we'll lift the right elbow up away from the ground and then lower it back down. So whatever leg is in Baddha Konasana, it's the opposite elbow doing the moving. You can stay with this movement or we'll change it, tucking the right toes under. And now your forehead stays glued to your right hand, and the head and the hand and the elbow all lift up. So stay engaged through your glutes, energy through the back leg, lifting up and lowering down. A couple more times. Last one. Slide the left leg straight back. Switch so the left hand is on top of the right. And bring the right leg into Baddha Konasana, tree pose shape. Maybe sliding the knee a little further away from you. So first the head and the hand stay down, and we just lift the left elbow away from the floor. Lift and lower. You can press the hand down to help lift the elbow up. Go easy, don't push into pain. Either staying with that or other variation, left toes tuck under, forehead stays glued to the hand, head, hand, and elbow all lift and lower. The end of that one, slide the leg out straight. Last prone back bend. So a lot of back strengthening today. We're going to take hold of the elbows once again. Make sure they're at least an inch or so in front of the shoulders. Tuck the toes under. Drive the elbows into the floor. Strong engagement through the back body to lift and expand through the front. Can stay right here or bend the knees so the feet are airborne and keep pressing the front of the pelvis down, down, down. And release, feet down, elbows wide, head down. From here, slide your hands back so they're underneath your shoulders, and then press back to child's pose. Continue to enjoy the child's pose shape that you're in, or slight variation here, we'll tuck the toes under, reach back to hold your feet if you can, or arms back alongside the body, and then really tuck, 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 and try to direct your nose toward your knees. So we're trying to really round through the back, like cat pose. You can get a little push-pull opposition, pulling on the feet, pushing on the hands. Breathe into the back. And then see if we can keep the toes tucked and stretch the arms forward. So we're going more for elongation of the spine now. Last few breaths in some sort of child's pose. Rise up to all fours. Knees, hips width apart, just slightly inward relative to your hips, rather than directly beneath. Wrists directly beneath the shoulders. Really take the time to connect to the floor through each finger and the four corners of your palms. Push the floor away, but then just slightly soften through the chest so there's a little bit of scap retraction. Okay, we're keeping the head in line with the spine. And let's lift left leg up. So lift left foot up, keeping the leg bent, the knee bent, and keeping the pelvis level. So you might not get very far before you run out of hip extension. Try squeezing the glute, that's gonna help. Foot going straight up. And then we're gonna flow a little bit here, but go slow. So with your exhalation, bring the knee in toward the nose, but keep the spine relatively neutral. So rather than getting a big rounding, unless that's what you're really craving. And then inhale, get that hip extension again, bringing the foot up toward the ceiling. Exhale, bring the knee in, so it's more hip flexion than spinal flexion. One more time, just like that, and then we're going to change it. Foot up, glute active, core stable. Exhale, bring the knee in, so hip flexion. And then, same thing here, hip extension, knee up, foot up, and then extend the leg out straight, keeping the pelvis level. Exhale, bring the knee in, now maybe round through the spine. Again, so it might take a couple breaths. Don't worry about coordinating movement and breath. Be more concerned with finding that pure hip extension without arching through your back. After you find that extension, straighten out through the leg. And then exhale to bring it back in. One more time. And then the next time, let's curl in one more time, actually. So curl in. Knee bent, extend through the hip, chest reaching forward. Extend the leg back, and then maybe extend the opposite arm forward. Really drawing the bottom of the rib cage in, so you're not swaying, sway back toward the ground. And then bring the foot and the knee down. You can sit back onto the heels if you want for a moment to circle out the wrists or shake them out. Just give them a little bit of a break. Okay, and then second side here, so reestablishing your foundation through your hands. If your wrists are bothering you, you can come up onto fists. So now we're working with the right leg without tilting the pelvis. Just keep the pelvis level, knee is bent, foot going up toward the ceiling. I'm laughing because this is so hard for me. And then exhale, bring the knee in, but keep the spine neutral. So it's hip flexion, not spinal flexion. Couple more times. Front ribs drawing to the back body. Really squeeze the right glute to help extend at the hip. One more time. Adding on here. And find all the hip extension that you can first. Then straighten the leg. Then bring the knee in and round the spine if you like. Again. Okay, this next time we find extension through the hip. So foot up, knee up. Then extend straight back through the leg. Make sure you're not sinking at all here. Maybe extending opposite arm. Energy through the limbs, through the spine. And coming back down, all the way back into child's pose. Maybe arms are alongside the body. Breathe across your back. Okay, so from here, we're gonna make sure we've got a sticky surface. So if you have a blanket on your mat, take it off. If you've been working on carpet, grab your mat. Coming into downward facing dog. And let's come into down dog with feet as wide as the mat. Feel free to bend your knees. Particularly if you have a rounded spine at all, or you're feeling a ton of sensation in the hamstrings, let's make it more about lengthening through the spine. Be sure you're not sinking into the shoulders. We're not pressing the chest down toward the ground. There's almost this opposite, like lifting of the shoulder girdle up a little bit. Or forward, like us forward and up a little bit. Really lifting more from the lower belly. See if you can connect to your diagonal here. So right foot and left hand, right arm and left leg, right shoulder and left hip. And then left hand and right foot, left arm and right leg, left shoulder and right hip. And feeling your body as a big X. Let's walk the feet in, walk the feet forward to a forward bend. Knees could be bent here. chest expanding. Okay, and then hands to hips, rising to stand in Tadasana, mountain pose. Ooh, just take a moment here, feel the energy moving through your body. It was a long time on the floor there. Just giving your body time to reorient to the midline and to the floor. We're going to work a little bit with Warrior 3. Yay! So grab your blocks. Blocks highest setting at the top of the mat. We already did like a Warrior 3 variation, yeah, but we were on all fours. So now we're taking it up to standing. Okay, so hinging at the hips, spine parallel to the floor, back of your head in line with your sacrum, and blocks a little bit in front. I like personally a little bit in front of the shoulders. You want them pretty much right underneath when you rise up. Okay, so from here, you could have big toes touching or feet wider. You're gonna have to see what works better for you. I'm gonna start with the right foot planted and the left leg extending back. So working all the stuff we've been working on for the past hour, engaging the back glute, both of them, but particularly the left one, not letting the ribs dump toward the ground. So front ribs drawing toward the back body, chest extending forward, and then we're going to bend the left knee. So we're working on this hip extension, bringing the knee up, bringing the foot up without arching the back to do so. So what we're after is teaching the hips and spine how to move separately from each other. Keep this left knee bent, left leg in extension, bend your right leg. That might make things a little bit nicer. Right knee bent, left foot pushing up, strong through your core. Okay, and then we're going to straighten out, maybe, you could keep the standing leg bent, but if it works for you, straighten out the right leg. As you do, draw the outer right hip back. And then straighten out through the left leg, lots of energy through the heel, maybe extending right arm forward, feeling this diagonal line of energy from fingertips to heel. Excellent. Carefully bringing the hand back down, bring the left foot down alongside the right, whether the big toes touch or the feet are hip width apart. See what works better for you. Okay, now left foot stays down. Be sure you're evenly grounded through the left foot. We're going to extend the right leg back. Hips are staying level. It can be tempting to lift the right hip because it allows you to get the right hip higher, but that's not what we're doing today. So right leg is extending back. We bend the right knee and then keep everything stable and try to push the ceiling up. Squeeze right glute. Make sure the ribs aren't popping forward. Bend your left leg. Keep the right leg as it is. Bend your standing leg. Taking the load off the hamstring for a moment, feeling more into the quad. And then go slow here. When you straighten or straighter this left leg, see if you can pull the left outer hip back toward the foot edge of your mat. Then straighten the right leg, extending, reaching back, maybe extending left arm forward. Chest reaching forward, gaze is down. Bring the hand down, bring the foot down. That's it, just one round of warrior three instead of the common 3 rounds variations. Take your feet wide, like shoulder width apart, or even as wide as your sticky mat, the narrow width of the mat. In forward bend. So knees can be bent here, particularly if that means your spine is longer. And if you can use your blocks to support your head, go for that. So the back of the neck is long. The blocks or your support's probably just behind your hairline. That's going to depend on a lot of things. Head heavy. Maybe taking the arms out wide like a T, but on tented fingers. There's a slight scap retraction, so a little bit of shoulder blades toward the spine rather than just letting the shoulders hang. Maybe stretching the arms forward. Weight is staying all in the legs, so still on tented fingers. A few more slow, steady breaths here. Final arm variation you might explore is to hold the outer ankles, fingers wrapping around the back's heels. Not if that means you've got to change your nice long spine. And then from here, bend your knees. They're already bent, bend them more. And you can roll through the spine slowly to rise to stand. Bringing your feet underneath your frame. Just pause at the top here. Feel your energy. Feel your breath. Okay, we're going to come down to constructive rest, maybe with a bolster. If you don't have a bolster, you can do blanket on top of block, just so you have a little extra padding. If you don't have either, you can do constructive rest without the elevation of the pelvis. It's just nice and a little different. So the bolster or your bolster-like creation is crosswise on your mat. It's just like a supported bridge with a slight leg variation. So sitting on the bolster, lying back, pelvis is supported, lower back is not, and then the feet come kind of wider apart and the knees rest in on each other. Maybe placing the arms into cactus or taking them out a little wider to a T if they're alongside the body and cactus is too much. Bringing your attention to your breath. We're going to work a little bit with Viloma Pranayama, this interrupted breath. So first, we just start paying attention to the breath and making it a little bit smoother, a little bit steadier. Maybe even a little bit softer. And then with an inhalation, pause about halfway through that inhalation for about 5 seconds. And then finish the inhalation and exhale fully and comfortably. And we'll repeat that pattern a few times. Inhale about halfway, pausing for about 5 seconds, finishing the inhale, and then exhaling. Be sure you're breathing into the sides and back ribs. And you don't need to be strict about exactly halfway. You don't need to be strict about exactly 5 seconds. Just keeping it comfortable and relatively within those parameters. You can stay with this rhythm, this pattern, or break the inhalation into 3 parts. So that would be roughly a third, the second third, a final third with a short pause between those segments, and then a smooth, steady exhalation. Shouldn't feel like you're running out of air or trying to get more in. So this is a comfortable, relaxed kind of practice. So you need to adjust your approach accordingly. So there's no force, no aggression. Completing one more round of this Viloma pranayama with emphasis on inhalation. And then enjoying a few natural breaths. And then we're going to try the same thing with the exhalation. So inhaling fully yet comfortably. Exhale about halfway through, pause for about 5 seconds. Be sure you're not tensing or gripping, kind of soften around that holding, and then completing the exhalation. and repeating. Breathing into front, sides, and back ribs. And again, staying with this rhythm or adding an additional pause so the breath, the exhalation would be segmented or interrupted at the 1/3 and 2/3 mark of the exhale. Keep it comfortable. Let's complete one more round of Viloma Pranayama with emphasis on exhalation. And then enjoying a few natural breaths here. If you're propped up on a bolster, you can lift your hips and just slide it down so it's underneath your thighs. If you're on a block, I would set that aside and consider rolling a blanket to go underneath your knees. We did a lot of front body opening, so having this bend in the knees to rest might feel extra good. Setting up Shavasana so that you can be comfortable and at ease and still. Resting. Just rest here. And coming back into the river of breath. And take your time reawakening your physical form. And if you feel ready, rising up to a seat. You might join me chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace. Thank you. Namaste.